Hello, hello. Welcome to our channel. Last week we've listened to Fab the Oit, last song,
Track.
track. Yeah, I think that's a better word, really. On the Lateralis album, I think it is actually quite a nice starter to conspiracy theories, paranormal discussions, etc. Really nice stuff. We've also listened to The Humblin' River by Pucifer. As always, thank you so much for all your comments. And thank you as well to our patrons. If you would like to support us, the link should be under the video. Yes, first week of December, and we will start 10,000 Days album. The first song on the album is Vicarious. Can you tell me a bit more about the album title?
Yeah, so I think it's been mentioned on the comment section numerous times that 10,000 days is kind of symbolic. So there seem to be like two explanations for what 10,000 days might mean. One is that it can be a reference to Maynard's mother because she suffered. It is kind of like how many days she suffered from her condition before she unfortunately died. And the other theory is something related to Saturn ascends, Saturn return. If you remember the verse in previous songs, so
It was
this
in the garage, wasn't it?
yeah, and
I remember.
yeah, and this is so it takes around 28, 29 years for the Saturn to return its cycle, and this is roughly 10,000 days. And also Maynard, I think he spoke about this meaning of 28, 29 years of life is when people have their transformation, kind of. They grew up and changed their lives. Like
Okay.
they go into different part of their lives during that. So yeah, that's two
okay.
leading theories.
Okay, interesting. I'm really excited. So let's just do it. I'm well prepared. I have my lyrics open. So yeah.
Okay,
Let's-
so Vicarious by Tool.
Yes.
Oops,
Oopsie. What was this?
it's okay. It starts now.
Oof. All right. so good. I was waiting for more.
Looks like you have been hypnotized.
Oh yeah. God, that was so interesting. That was really interesting musically, phonetically as well. There was this la 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 lie. That was so interesting. Oh, like another level. It is different again from the other album. Shall we start from the beginning? So good. In all honesty, the title, Vicarious. I never heard this word used in any other context than the legal one, as in vicarious liability, and I never thought about any other meaning of this word. I don't think I ever heard it being used in day-to-day conversation either.
Just out of curiosity, how is it being used in that context?
So in the legal context, it has nothing to do with the song really. But for example, employer can be vicariously liable if the employee got hurt at work, as the employer owes duty of care to the employee.
I see. Okay.
So in that sense, that's when the word the vicarious is being used. But I will be honest with you as well. I googled the meaning of the vicarious just before the video because I was quite interested. I never thought about this word in any different way either. And when I've googled the meaning, that's where I found. Here's what comes up: experienced in the imagination through the feelings or actions of another person. For example, she was living vicariously through her children.
Mm-hmm.
So it is actually, the employer can be liable for the other employee's negligence, for example. So she was living vicariously through her children. So she experienced in the imagination through the feelings. It is really, really interesting word in itself, and I think there's a lot in the song to refer to it as well.
Yeah, I think so. Definitely.
So let's try from the start. I couldn't really make up my mind throughout the song whether the song is. Sometimes I felt quite literally a reference to his mother or to something else, because there have been quite a few sentences that kind of gave me this different vibe. In terms of the song itself, it was so interesting. Again, that's the word I want to use here. There have been like changes throughout. To be honest, I found it quite harder than usually to understand the words and that's how I would feel without the lyrics. So it really helped here as well.
Okay, because
Like the tone of
the
his
music
voice.
itself was very heavy.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it was much heavier, and when you add the heavier lyrics to it, you have this nice mixture. Although for me it was kind of hard at times to pick up, so that's on a technical
But
note.
also, I think I agree with that. Although it was at the same time very engaging, at least for me, it's always very engaging. And I just have to say this that I'm pretty sure that Vicarious was a first song that like really got me into Tool.
Okay.
I don't know why exactly this one, but I think it's very straightforward, and it might have. And I'm
Really?
thinking that it has been done more for wider audience. Like,
You reckon?
also, I think the Vicarious is one of a few Tool songs that has had some time on the radio and in TV, and it
Okay.
speaks about TV and things like that. It speaks
Yeah.
about current times, like more than any Tool song, I think.
Yeah. That's interesting observation. Although, do you think it is straightforward? Because the more I look into the songs, the more I question it. Really,
I
it
guess
starts
we'll
as
see.
if it is, although, for me it was an expression of kind of vicarious experience. Oh my God, this actually fits so well. The more I think of it, the vicarious experience of someone, of she, perhaps the reference to his mom, right?
I actually don't see the reference to his mom, but
That's
continue,
the
sorry.
thing. That's the thing. I kind of see it, and perhaps it's just me, and it's completely incorrect. But there is some she, right? She used the poison in his tea, and kissed him goodbye.
But that's the thing that he sees on our person. I think the examples like killed by the husband, drowned by the ocean, shot by his own son, are the examples of tragedies that are presented on the TV. Because it starts with I on TV,
Yeah.
because tragedy thrills me, whatever flavor it happens to be like. And then the examples of the tragedies shown in TV. And then he says what the people are actually thinking of those tragedies, that they're become normalized and so on.
Yeah, so you know what? I haven't think of it. It would be like really, really straightforward then. I don't know why. Oh my God, it is so obvious as well, isn't it? That's the first intuition that you should have really. I don't know. For me, the eye on the TV was some kind of metaphorical, and I kind of thought it's probably some metaphor. And then you have these experiences, but not certainly reliant to different people, like different scenes on the TV, but rather to one person that vicariously feels those things.
But it definitely isn't one person, just because shot by his own son, so it's his own son, so it's a male, but then she used the poison in his tea. Like, that's a different
Yeah.
situations, I think.
Yeah, but then when you vicariously feel, you may feel as a man, or
I
you may
see.
feel as a child. You may
I see
feel
what you mean, yeah.
different, as if you are different people. Does it make sense?
Yeah, I see what you mean, but I still think it's...
Yeah, I think you're right, actually. I think I went too far off, and I started going through kind of metaphors right away. But it is, though, interesting, isn't it? Why I didn't look at the obvious.
It's possibly because you looked up the word vicarious, maybe.
Maybe.
But I think still word vicarious fits into that, what I'm saying, at least.
In what sense?
So vicariously, but it's kind of like a opposite meaning. So I on the TV, because tragedy thrills me, whatever flavor it happens to be. And then you've got like horrific things happening, drowned by the ocean. The mother she used poison in his tea, like tragedies. But then people are like zombies staring into TV.
You know what?
So because of the TV, they not only TV. I think TV is metaphor actually, but because people are getting used to the tragedies, they are being less and less vicarious actually, and especially
You
the
reckon?
words like.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm saying so much, but vicariously, I live while the whole world dies. You all feel the same, so why can't you just admit it? He tries to point out like hypocrisy of the people. I don't know. It's for me, it's so great.
And I think you've been absolutely right with the interpretation. It is in that sense straightforward. I actually agree with this, and I went completely wrong from the beginning. But who knows where it would where I would end up if I would like keep going and try to go. But yeah, it all makes sense. And if you, because I'm going like further down the lyrics, and because I need to watch things die from a distance. So this distance, even as a direct reference to things we see on the TV, like TV shows, why we watch them, why we can't stop watch them. Sometimes we can watch like 8 episodes in one night if we're so into something, because vicariously, almost as if we are feeling and we want to know the story, how it's gonna end, right? But it seems that indeed there's also the reference to our I don't want to say our worst selves, but to our lusts, you know. So the like the horrible things. That's what people are finding intriguing, interesting. That's what people want to dig into as well.
There's a verse that says exactly that. We all feed on tragedy. It's like blood to a vampire.
Yeah. We won't pause until the blood is flowing either, right?
Exactly.
So the more kind of you say drastic it gets, the more we want, you know, it is drastic, but we want to know it.
Especially if it's far away from us, right?
Yeah, then it's vicariously, because there's kind of no risk to us really, so we just want to know, we need to feed ourselves and this need to know. Oh, that's actually really, really interesting. Then you have part vampire, part warrior. That's also quite interesting. And there was like a proper change within the song as well. Carnivore and voyeur. I can't really say it properly. Stir at the transmittal, sing to the death rattle. What this part mean in that sense? Is it some kind of escalation of all those hypocrisy, would you say?
Yeah, I think it's just to show up the violence, this how harsh it can get.
Yeah.
So just show the seriousness of all of it, I think.
But then you have La 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 Live, so it's also a bit, I don't want to say comical, but it's like laugh to some degree from all this.
Maybe because that's how I take it, the La La. It's just to show how ordinary this is, like how pretty much everyone behaves like that. Because La La La, it's like a placeholder type of lyric that is being used. It's just almost cheesy, but at the same time, it's so popular that I think he just wants to show how everyday this thing is. But also, I think there's another layer to that. I might be wrong, but so there's because it speaks about humanity, right? About people and how they are,
Mm-hmm.
what they are. But then you can do you have to necessarily like I'm thinking that maybe he shows that hypocrisy, that need of people to feed on others' tragedy. Maybe there is some function to that. Like maybe there is some point in all of this. Like, is it necessary only evil, or is there any other angle to it?
So, we have those cravings, and that's the nature of the human being as well. So, there is a need for those cravings, I'd say. So, I don't think it's like, just to reveal the hypocrisy and like rejecting of all those things. I wouldn't say it should be written as such or read as rejection of all this kind of cravings, that the bad cravings of blood that people have, right? Obviously speaking metaphorically. I think there's a bit more in this as well. I agree, and the sentence that actually got me thinking was, the universe is hostile, so impersonal, devour to survive.
So it is. So it's always been.
How would you
I think.
analyze this?
I think it's. I might be completely wrong. That's just my first thought. It might be about that it's not only a feature of current times, that it's been how humanity behaves even before, because there's been tragedies before. And even though people didn't have TV or internet, they had stories, they had. They had a ways to communicate between each other, and they still did crave the same type of things. So maybe that's to show that it's not a phenomenon from current times only.
You know what? It actually reminds me of the Rousseau. Are people inherently evil? And is it flowing from our nature? Isn't it a little bit like that? So the universe was always hostile, and you're right, you can see it throughout the history. So are we really good or evil? What is our nature? Isn't it like part of our nature to crave for blood, for those drastic things, to be so nosy? This because in the song I would say there's also the reference to this kind of nosiness.
But
That's
being
what keeps us going. We want to see someone shot by his own son, somebody that poisoned. I can't. I have difficulty speaking today. Sorry. Somebody that poisoned the tea, right? Somebody that was killed. We want to see those things. It's almost like a craving, like flowing from the very nature.
yeah, but even if that's the case, even if we had this desire or this need to see those things to some extent, does it necessarily have to mean that this is just pure evil thing? Maybe it has its like evolutional function. We want to be aware of what other people are capable of, so we can predict that someone else will do this to us. Maybe it's to protect our family, but I don't. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
there might be a function to that is not 100% evil.
But is it what's in the song? Would you say? Is it what the song can represent?
I might have. I think it's just my what you asked,
Mm-hmm.
because you mentioned Rousseau and that he
Yeah.
thinks that people are evil, and you said they're evil because they have those desires. So I was just answering that it's not
Okay. Okay.
in the song. I think.
Don't you think that it can be in the song somewhere? Just kind of expression of this desires and of this part of human nature that is this nose, that's craving for blood.
Hmm. I don't know really.
To be honest, in any event, I don't think I would pick up this much without seeing the lyrics, because like you said, it was heavy in that
But
sense. It was hard for me. So it was hard for me to pick up the actual lyrics and focus on them. I would say I would be probably more focused on the experience as a whole, which was really good. It is a good song, although heavy and different from what we've listened to
if you
before.
think about it, this is the first song on the album.
Hmm.
Looking back, the first songs on albums tend to be very harsh, heavy. Like
or different as well.
or
I think they are slightly. Let's just go back to Lateralus album. So we had. Just gonna Google it quickly. What was on the Lateralus album in order?
The Grudge.
I'm pretty sure the Grudge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was it?
Yeah, The Grudge was the first song on Laterals.
You sure? Yeah, so there have been singles that differed. Yes, so we had the Grudge. So it was quite different from
But
what
it
you
was
would.
quite heavy.
Yes, but it was. There was difference between this song and, for example, Parable and Parabola wasn't there. So like the whole theme of the album was slightly different. So perhaps that's what's gonna happen in this album. I'm really interested now. What's next? You know, and also the year of the album. It's been released in 2006. Lateralus was 2001. So there was quite a lengthy time before this album has been released. So this song can be some kind of an intro,
Yeah, I think
or maybe more generally about the
that's
about like human nature, what we are craving for. And maybe that's what will be given to us in the next songs.
just interesting addition to what you just said. You remember the first sounds in this track in Vicarious? It was like a wake up alarm, like a ringing alarm. It's like after 5 years, it's like wake up, maybe something like that.
Huh.
I just thought about it when you
Huh.
said about.
And you know what? You've reminded me about one more thing that I picked up during listen. There was like this bell throughout the song.
Yeah.
Like, it was so nice. It was such a nice and interesting, again, addition to the whole song. It was like, it was there for a reason. I just couldn't pick up why. Maybe that's
connected to that ringing bell at the beginning.
Huh.
I don't know. But I really like how the song is well made. It's very polished, and yeah, I really like it musically. I think it might be attractive to very wide range of people.
It can be.
Like even if you don't like heavy music, I think it's still very musical, very catchy.
Like I said, for me, it was like really interesting. I wanted to see what's going to happen next. And I think I got hypnotized at the end.
You totally have been, yeah.
Oh, that was so weird. Yeah, I think also definitely I don't think it's about his mom now. I don't know why. Maybe because I've seen quite a few comments about this album as a whole. There have been some references to his mom, so maybe I had this somewhere at the back of my head.
Yeah.
But yeah, that I wouldn't say it was. If you disagree, though, let me know because it will be interesting to see and where this reference can be. But I would think it's more of a expanded on the human nature as a whole and picking up those the nasty or maybe perhaps a bit wrong things about us as a humans,
or interesting,
but it doesn't mean that they are not interesting, because again, even in the song it's kind of highlighted that that's what is actually interesting, that's what interests us. So that's that's so good. Yeah, I think I'm quite happy with it. To be honest, it was heavy, and there was so much that I really want to listen to it again, only because there's like musical different layers. I felt like there was a lot of, although it was heavy, there was a lot of going on, and that's what I would like to listen to again.
Yeah, like you mentioned the bells and all the different
go
things.
through it once again, and maybe even a few times more, just to kind of pick up on all this stuff. And yeah, that's it for me, really. Would you like to add anything else?
No, I'm happy with the song.
Yeah, and thank you for keeping me on the ground, because I think I would go somewhere in some completely wrong direction.
I was actually waiting. I waited. I was very curious what you will do and how long will it take.
Oh, cheeky. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. I really enjoyed the song, but it is different from it is really different from previous albums, I'd say.
Which is great, I think.
And I just crave for more. So yeah, I cannot wait to see you next week. And as always, thank you so much for being with us, and thank you for watching, and thank you for all the comments.
Thank you.
Bye bye.